let's talk about the differences between transgender, transsexual, and drag, because apparently people don't understand this, even though just the terminology should make a little bit of sense to you. So what's inspiring this, I'll put the link in the description, is someone mislabeled a what would you do video transsexual man, or men, or I can't remember, is harassed or whatever, and then it proceeds to show two drag queens getting harassed. And when I first saw the video, I was imagining a transsexual man getting harassed, not two drag queens. And this isn't the first time I've seen the word transsexual being used to describe someone dressing up in drag. For example, Onision, which I used to be okay with his vids until the two instances, and then I was like, Onision, you're freaking retarded. Anyways, he had this hate video. I'll try to dig it up and put it in the description, saying, and one of the things is people say he's transphobic, which from a later video I realized, yeah, you kind of are, and I'll explain that in a bit. Basically, to which he addressed, despite the fact that I dress as a transsexual all the time, and it shows the times that he dresses up in a bad wig, basically dresses up like a girl, for his skits to portray a female character, to be made fun of, kind of thing. Which, not transsexual. You can't dress up as a transsexual, and I'll explain why when I go through the three different definitions. And then later in his video, what makes him transphobic is in his video, it literally said, oh, you have a penis? Then you're a boy! And I'll try to get that video and put it in the description as well. Because transgender women, they are still women, but they have penises unless they are post-operation, and vice versa for transgender men. So it doesn't make them any less their gender, because gender is up here, sex is between your legs. Now, I'm going to go into the three definitions so you, dear viewer, can understand and use the correct terminology. Now, I'll start off. A transgender or transsexual man is someone who is when they were born, were assigned the gender female, but identify as male. And so they're the ones who look male and are dressing male and everything else. And a transgender or transsexual woman is someone who, when they were born, were assigned the gender of male, and but they identify as female. Not that difficult to understand. Now, what's the difference between transgender, transsexual, and drag? Now, transgendered is what I was saying. When your identified gender does not correspond with the gender you were assigned at birth. So you're born, the doctor takes you as a baby, say, hey, it's a girl. But then as they're growing up, like, no, I'm a boy, or vice versa. And what's the difference between transgender and transsexual? A transsexual is a transgendered person who has started on medical procedures to change their body to be more like their identified gender, such as hormone therapy or surgeries. So if there's a transgendered man, so that's someone who identifies as male but was assigned female at birth, starts on testosterone or gets top or bottom surgery or whatever else like that, then they are now a transsexual. And vice versa, same thing for transgender and transsexual women, since that just estrogen and whatnot. Also, another common misconception when you're transgender, you go and get you go from looking and portraying yourself as male, let's say, and then you go get surgery and then you're female. No, you dress as your identified gender oftentimes because it makes you feel better. Now, this is from experience of going to a queer youth group which had plenty of transgender and transsexual people, as well as some of my close friends. I have one of my really good friends is a transsexual male, so that means that he was assigned female at birth. Just to make sure it's clear, I'm saying it over and over again, I apologize, but apparently it's not clear to most people. But, well, you get it. Anyway, so, and he's been taking testosterone and has had his top surgery, so actually looking at him, most people don't even know that he's transsexual. And also I have well, actually no, she's transsexual now because she just recently started on hormones, so anyways, you get the idea. So I know this from actual experience with actual people and going to actual workshops at an actual queer center. Like, it's also, queer is an umbrella term for all gender identities and sexual orientations that are not cis, which means you identify with the gender you were assigned at birth, or straight. That's just because there's so many different gender identities and sexual orientations. Anyway, so moving on. Drag is someone who say you got a man and he was assigned male at birth and he still says, yep, I'm still a man, but I like dressing like a girl. That doesn't mean you're transgender, it doesn't mean you're transsexual, certainly, because you certainly have not started on estrogen or something. It just means that you're into drag. It's not a big deal, it's a thing that some people do. It doesn't make them any less their sex or gender or whatever, and it does not make them transgender or especially not transsexual. I know I just said that, but seriously, it does not. It just, like, I have another friend. I have, most of my friends are queer. Anyways, I have another friend, he's gay, sure, and he does performances where he dresses like a girl, and he's got a name for his drag persona, and I swear to God, when he's all dressed up in his drag, you can't even tell that he's a guy. But and actually I met him through said transsexual male, that transsexual man, my friend that's a transsexual man, fuck, this is getting all mixed up in my mouth. Anyways, I met the drag queen person through that, so it's not like transsexuals or transgender necessarily hate them, because they acknowledge that they're not transgender, they are just drag queens or kings if it's a woman dressing as a man, and they're free to do that. I mean, like, if you like it and have fun, all power to you. But it's when people misidentify or like misaddress. And this video is like 7 minutes long. I apologize for that. Anyways, thanks for listening.